friends. Some people say we have a problem, but it doesn't matter, make a new best friend. And the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Love wrestling. Welcome to yet again. We made it one more week, John. We're here. Another week, another episode of Between Two Beards. Thank you for joining us in what is a big night here for our Love Wrestling community. Obviously, us, Pluggo, and myself.
That's
for
right,
Between Two
baby.
Beards. And then following us at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Quizplex. And it's not just any episode of Quizplex. Tonight is a special episode of Quizplex. We have 3 outstanding contestants. All the proceeds go towards the Trevor Project, which we are still raising funds for throughout the month of June. Exactly. That is my feeling, Tim, as well. I also want to thank RK Athletics. They are our main sponsor here at Love Wrestling. So we want to thank them for everything that they do and their support here at Love Wrestling. I am JPJ, if you didn't know. He is Pluggo.
The goat.
Before I let him say hello to the people, you see the link below us. It is donate.tiltify.com/@lovewrestlingca/Trevor Project. You guys have been killing it so far with us, raising money. We're over $1,000. We're trying to get to $2,000. So if you can donate, if you can't, share the link. Raise awareness, equally as important.
Any money we raise tonight, bits, donations, subscriptions, JPJ and I will match that. So please, if you can, drop us some donations and we will match any donations we make tonight.
You just got to put a the.
Move
that the to the front of the sentence, and that is correct. The 2 greatest beards Love Wrestling has.
That's right, man. That's right. Man.
Anyway, how are we doing this week, John? I feel like, it's been a busy week for both of us. Well, I feel like we barely talked. So,
no, we usually chit chat throughout the week, but I think
we were on the stream last night though. That was a lot of fun.
Super fancy background. My mom watches the show and says, "You need a background. You need a background." So, Mom, if you're watching, hi, it's there.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
That's high quality craftsmanship, from the wife there. She took care of business. What a week of wrestling. A lot of stuff to dive into. You only have us for about an hour tonight because, as JPJ said, Quizplex is coming down the pipe, and I'm officially going to go ahead and just say whoever wins Quizplex this week, I'm taking you down next month.
Wow, that open challenge. Open challenge. Might as well.
No.
All on board.
Where do you want to start today, JPJ?
Well, I know it's Thursday. And the pay-per-view started on Sunday. But we did do a slight preview of it last week. So I want to dive into Hell in a Cell just for a little bit. We're just going to touch on it.
Let's touch on it.
Well, I wanted to ask you, what did you think? Hell in a Cell, for me, I thought it was a good show. But nothing spectacular happened, if that makes sense. Like I thought the matches were good. I thought it was, it wasn't too long. It was all right. I wish it would have started at 7 instead of 8, but that's the old man in me. But
yes, sir.
I thought it was a solid show. I thought besides the terrible roll-up finish, I thought Lashley and McIntyre was excellent. I thought they were so good. What did you think? What matches stood out to you? How did you think the show was overall?
I thought it was fine. Like you said, I think they just last pay-per-view in the Thunderdome, they were like, "Meh, we're just."
They used all the rest of the fireworks they had. I don't want to talk about fireworks too much because of Spencer. However,
listen,
if you caught the beginning of that pay-per-view, they clearly had a lot of fireworks that they needed to get rid of. Hornswoggle. No, I'm just kidding.
So I hope it was. Oh man, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say, they had the mystery here. For me, honestly, if I want to be completely honest with everybody and tell you, I didn't even make it. I fell asleep, so I watched the end of it later. Yeah, because it was just,
it was there.
It was rematch on rematch on rematch on rematch, right? Nothing new, nothing exciting. No title changes, none of that.
I agree with Tim right there. Pat McAfee is very good. on commentary. Very, very good. He stands out for sure. I will say, I did think Bianca and Bailey had one hell of a Hell in a Cell match. I thought it was so good. That finishing move to Bailey when she did it on the ladder was just, man, oh man. Oh, and
that hurt me.
As you saw John right there, visit all of our social medias at Love Wrestling CA, Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Go to the Love Wrestling store. We have fanny packs. Who doesn't probably the most? I bet you if you ask Spencer, probably the most important piece of merchandise we've come out with so far.
Yeah, but I bet if you also ask Spencer, he's probably sitting in a dungeon somewhere trying to figure out stats because he keeps challenging me to like prediction shows and stuff. He's he's probably sitting there crunching the numbers. I'm over here just like I'm just going to show up and dominate.
Yeah, I do agree with Ed as well, though. I do think Jimmy Smith has been good on Raw so far. And I would say, yeah, it didn't need the sell. I would have preferred Kevin and Sammy to get the sell if you were going to give another match the sell on Sunday because you did the Roman and Ray thing on Friday. I think Sammy and Kevin probably, that feud of years long, probably deserved a little more. I don't think Bianca and Bailey needed it. However, I think they rose to the occasion and they had a really good one.
When you put your best Hell in a Cell match on Friday, you got
they had another pretty decent one on Monday too. So there was a weekend full of Hell in a Cell matches for sure.
So that's the only question I have, and I didn't talk about this in pre-production. Is the Hell in the Cell gimmick pointless at this point? It's like watered down for sure. And
yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
Bailey and Bianca barely used the cage. Like they barely touched it. So do we need to keep doing this every year?
I mean, I think they're gonna. I think at this point, yeah, I would agree with Joe. It's lost that special feel. So when you hear, a Hell in a Cell match, it's like, okay, like the match. I agree with that comment, Jeremy, that we're going to put up on the screen in a few seconds. Like, it should be a once or twice a year type match, like at really big feuds, heated feuds. If you need it to go there, you're like, Hell in a Cell. They were still doing the pay-per-view yearly at that point. But do you remember when Triple H and The Undertaker were going through their WrestleManias and when they decided it was going to be a Hell in a Cell, it still meant a lot in that moment, and it made that match so much greater. Now, if somebody comes out tomorrow night on SmackDown and says, I want to fight you in a Hell in a Cell, it's going to be like, all right, cool, that'll probably be a good match, but it's not like, oh, man, Hell in a Cell.
Well, there was 4 of them this weekend.
Yeah, literally. On 3 different nights. That was 100%.
The other thing on top of it is, if I may get a little fired up, you can only do so much, and if you have 4 of them, you can't have all 4 matches do the same thing or it becomes repetitive and boring. So you're kind of already handcuffing your performers inside the cell. Yeah, we saw some cool spots. Yeah, we saw some hands stick out. Hornswoggle, if he's still out there doing his thing, like, I wish it was him. I always think he still lives there in kayfabe. I mean, I think that's where he lives.
That's why I said it. I'm under the impression that he is still under there.
You can only do so much with it, and I'm glad the Thunderdome era is gone in pay-per-view form. I know we still have a few more weeks.
Yeah, we still got a few more weeks.
But you know what? That's okay. I think pay-per-views need those fans. I mean, they make or break a lot of big moments. Like I always say, could you imagine Taker throwing Mankind off of the Hell in the Cell in front of a video board?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you need fans. You need that excitement. And so I'm excited to see where would be the next one would be Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have heard that from a few other people too, Joe. Like they're saying maybe to liven it up, the cage is down the whole show and the whole show's Hell in a Cell. And you do it that way. That'd be something. Just a 3 hour, like every match, Hell in a Cell. Oh, it's the pay-per-view. That's what it is.
One person gets pinned, the next match they just run right out, keep it going, don't even stop. I'm down.
Yeah, that's it. Just keep the cell is down all night. That'd be something to see for sure. Yes, no, we do have Money in the Bank, and I wanted to kind of transition Did you watch Raw this week?
I did.
Was Raw good?
I know, right? Or was it just that it's been so bad?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the bar has, I think the bar isn't high.
You know what's not going to be good? Quizplex at 9:00. That is going to slap. So please,
that's going to be
hanging
amazing.
out here. Stay. Stay. If you can make it past all of our goofiness, stick around for Quizplex. That's going to be awesome. Sorry, I'm just fired up for that.
No, it's all right. It's a big night. I'm excited too. It's a big night. It was good, right?
Good.
Am I losing my mind?
Fresh matchups. People that I was like, Ricochet's going to lose again. Okay. And he did lose.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Ed, well, here's the thing about the Thunderdome, Ed. The Thunderdome was a good idea. It was a good idea how they incorporated it. It worked, and it worked. And so when you say that you like the Thunderdome, I don't blame you. And I liked it too. It was better than having, the first couple month or so was black. All you saw was the ring. So it was a good concept to get it going. I just think it's been so long that I just want to hear actual people. I want to hear actual people dictate what's going on. I don't want the noise to be dictated by what WWE wants us to cheer and boo and things like that. I want to hear real people with real reactions.
I don't think Roman is going to get just flooded with boos.
No,
but he is in the Thunderdome. Because that's
I would be shocked.
But everybody's loving it. So
if a real crowd tells Roman Reigns he sucks, they chant "You suck" at him when he's in the ring, I would be shocked.
Then he just murders their family.
Yeah, I would be shocked. But yeah, with Raw, I didn't like how they did the women's qualifiers in a tag team, but the men had singles. That was lame to me. I did not like that.
Super lame.
I didn't like that.
You've got enough programming.
It's a month away. Yes. It's a month away. Money in the Bank is literally 4 or 5 weeks away. You could have done just 2 of those women matches this past Monday and 2 more next Monday instead of being no, we're doing tag matches so that we have the 4 Raw women. It's no.
You know what I would like to
You don't have to do that.
And I know that they do it 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. I'd like to see them almost cross brand it leading up to it and then say, we have a Raw person take on a SmackDown person and maybe see SmackDown get 4-2, 5-1, you know what I mean? Or vice versa, just to freshen up the Money in the Bank thing, because after last year, I think they really need to reevaluate how they handle Money in the Bank, because as much as I love Otis and I loved the Otis moment and I thought that storyline had some legs, they completely fumbled it. Becky Lynch being pregnant and then just giving the belt essentially to Asuka kind of took some luster off of it. So I'd like to see them freshen that up. And what better to have to start your brand supremacy seeds than Money in the Bank going into Survivor Series, because they decide 2 weeks before Survivor Series everybody's brand loyal. Why not do it? Why not do it middle of the year at Money in the Bank? That's just me. That's just what I'd like to see. Tell us in the comments what you want to see.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea at all. For me though, I was really excited because you said, right? You were when they announced the 3 matchups, right? It was AJ Styles and Ricochet, Morrison and Orton, McIntyre and Riddle. Yeah. Automatically, you see those 3 matchups, and we're designed in WWE brain to go, okay, Orton, McIntyre, AJ Styles.
Yep.
Those are the 3 guys that are going in there. It makes sense. They're top dudes. That's what's happening. And they did the exact opposite. And they put guys in there that are relatively new faces. They're new faces. Oh, I would love. Yes, I thought 2 years ago when they did that was amazing. I thought it was a great Survivor Series.
Yeah, and then what did they do with the 3 guys that lost? They put them in a match next Monday, which you want to see Orton, Styles, and
yes.
Oh my God, we just said it. Orton,
McIntyre.
McIntyre. You want to see those 3 go at it, so you're gonna watch. So what do? They set up a match for next Monday to get people to tune in. It's they're realizing, oh shoot, we need to get people to watch this stuff again.
It was perfect. They had the majority of the matches on Monday night had stakes. Every match mattered. Almost every match had a reason. You want to try to, and they were fresh matchups. Riddle and McIntyre, that match kicked ass. That was such a good match. And I'm glad Riddle won, regardless of what you feel about him personally. Like McIntyre, yeah, he's going to be in the second chance match as well next week. But like McIntyre needs to get away from the world title for a little bit. Unfortunately, as we enter back with fans, that poor guy
that doesn't need to be in the Money in the Bank because you literally could just put him.
It was Morrison's finisher was beautiful. That was the match that shocked me the most. I thought was when Morrison beat Orton. I thought for sure they were going to have Orton and Riddle both in the Money in the Bank to kind of for that dynamic.
And maybe
Joe, weekly television should be to set up pay.
But
it's true.
I kind of like the idea of Riddle being like, I'm in, bro, and you're not. And then Randy,
you got any pointers? You got any pointers,
exactly.
man?
Like, hey, man, you've been in these type of matches before. Tell me what I should expect. And Orton's just like.
But you can tell Orton still kind of likes him, though.
Orton has the same look on his face every week that Spencer Love has on my face during his face during the budget meeting. He's just like,
yeah, 100%.
You two just keep spending my money. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
that sign right there costs. That's expensive.
That's the budget. That's the budget. The
budget.
mom sign is you always got to go out. You got to go top dollar.
Sorry, Spenny Love. I had to show out this week.
Another thing on Raw that I wanted to touch on was the Eva Marie. So there was a little bit of social media presence today about Eva Marie because apparently a bunch of people saw that she was in the alumni section on .com, and they thought that apparently, you know how social media works. You see one thing and nobody wants to check to see what the actual story is. They just put something out there, and enough people put out there that she got fired.
Yeah,
so everyone was like, "Oh my God, did Eva Marie get fired? She's on the alumni section."
I even messaged you this morning.
You were like, and I was like, I didn't hear about it, so I looked into it.
What just happened?
I looked into it, and oh man, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. Again, we're gonna talk about it. But yeah, so that was the thing that was going on. But apparently not. Eva Marie came out real quick and was like, nope, not true. Like, stop, whatever. So she's very much still hired and very much on Raw. What they're doing with her, let's talk about it for a few minutes.
Good.
So
I actually, after watching it through, it makes sense. And I don't hate it. I hate the name. The Doudrop name is dumb. I do think they rushed it a little bit by already throwing some dissension her way with her and Piper Niven. I refuse to call her Doudrop guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So my thing is, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Hey,
but
nothing wrong with that.
Whatever.
No.
So. So,
but yes, the Eva Marie thing. I think Sean Ross Sapp said that she's been on the alumni page since the 14th, which means maybe it was just an oversight. They didn't move her because I can't imagine they would just put all that money into those vignettes, have her come out, be the vehicle to get Piper Niven on TV, and then just be like, "Peace,
you're gone." Well, I mean, it did get go ahead.
No, I'm just saying she's been getting heat, whether it's go away heat or she's getting buzz, and you know how Vince McMahon loves that buzz.
Yeah, and I think when that report first came out that they were gonna name Piper Niven Doudrop, and especially Doudrop. So if I were to ask you how to spell Doudrop, from everything you know about Doudrops, how would you spell it? Would you spell it D-O-U?
No.
Or would you spell it D-E-W?
D-E-W, like Mountain Dew. Like I'm drinking
like the dew in the morning, Mountain Dew. Like that. Who the hell? Nobody proofreads things around here?
I don't know. That reminds me of Walk Hard. Have you ever seen Walk Hard?
Oh, of course.
Cox story? Hey, I'm Dewey Jr. They call me Doudrop.
Oh, no. Hey. But when that first report came out,
it's got a meaning that I actually haven't even looked up yet. So I'm afraid.
I think this was the general consensus of a lot of people. It was like, because the way they presented it, not this Monday, but last Monday, was nobody knew who Piper Niven was. This person that was on their network, on NXT UK takeovers, like literally all over the place, on there everywhere.
Her checks say WWE on them.
Literally. She's been there for like 2 years. Like she's been with them for a while. We all know who she is. all of a sudden the commentators are, oh, like the commentators are like, who is this? We have no idea who this is. Who's this person wrestling for Eva Marie? And then you heard the report of Doudrop, and everyone was like, this is going to be awful. This is 100%. They're going to call, like, this is going to be embarrassing and blah, blah, blah. And kind of like you on Monday, the way that they did it on Monday, I feel 1,000 times better about this situation, because the way that they presented it was Piper Niven was there saying, when they asked Eva Marie what her name was, she was mouthing like, Piper, my name is Piper. And Eva Marie was like, her name's Doudrop. And then Piper Niven's face was like, are you shitting me?
Which,
like, what is that?
If
what?
you hate Eva Marie for whatever reason that you hate Eva Marie, you now want to see her just get absolutely destroyed at the hands of Doudrop or Piper Niven. And so what did they do? They took something that we all prematurely yelled about last week and turned it into, now I want to see that happen. Now, did she get fired? I don't know. I mean, crazier things.
So. I think she's safe. I think she's safe.
She better be safe. That would be such a quick, that'd be Adnan Burke style type fire, and like so quick.
That would be quick. But that made me, it gave me some relief, because I now I think we're all, oh no. Oh,
yeah, let's go.
oh,
Feel
boy.
the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's Doudrop time.
I would say it is success. I would say it is
go.
successful heat, because they already know that there are a lot of people that are going to be sour on Eva Marie just being there. Right.
Right.
So if you turn it around this way, where she's like treating someone like crap and giving them a stupid name and taking the credit for all, their work and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like you said, the people that already hate her are just going to hate her more, and everyone else is just going to hate her. So we'll have to see how the live crowds deal with it in a couple of weeks. And we're going to see. But I feel a lot more confident, because I know that Piper Niven's name for the long haul isn't going to be Doudrop. I feel pretty confident that this is just going to be until she finally separates herself from Eva Marie. It was all right. I thought I nailed the first one this morning, Ed, and then it just went off the rails. It went off the rails. But I blame the lack of coffee.
What did I
do
miss?
War Report pretty early. I blame the lack of coffee.
I was there for a little while. What were you singing?
Oh, we started talking about Hit Row, and Spencer demanded that every time I mention Hit Row,
by the way,
I have to sing it.
I downloaded that on my iTunes. That thing is good.
You want to say that song? Did you say that song is awesome? Mm-hmm. Everything about them is awesome.
Yes, but
everything.
I'm just talking about the song. You guys have already, if you want to talk about
no, we don't have to, but
an extensive Hit the War Report with my boy JPJ and Matt, the franchise, and they do a really good job. You're not going to get that out of me. Man.
We try.
I'm just like, Hit Row.
Yeah. So, anything else on Raw?
No, I mean,
what did you like?
I liked all of it. I thought Kofi and Xavier's promo was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
I loved not Kofi, Xavier just being like, P, shut up.
With MVP. Yeah, like you could tell he was like, I am talking.
I'm talking.
He was like I was like, oh, he's giving him some sass right there.
I mean, he lost, but hey.
Hey, it was a good showing though. You think Xavier Woods, you think he gets a solo run here? You think they're going to do like all three of them are going to have solo runs for a little bit?
I mean, if they should. I think it would be nice. Like they should have the solo runs, but never like have that like nasty split.
Yeah,
like they always will come back together. They're all because you don't have to split up everybody. Kicking them through barbershop glass like Shawn Michaels did to Marty Jannetty. Speaking of which, don't we have something coming up next week? JPJ?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? We brought it up last night on our debut episode of the surprise run-in because we had nothing going on, so we decided to have this episode. We were gonna debut the news tonight, but the testosterone in the room just it went off the rails. So,
well, before we do that, since we had a comment from our buddy Tim in the chat, let's talk about Nikki Cross for a second, because I think that was another big thing. Obviously, I don't hate it either.
I don't hate it.
I'm not saying I'm bought in. I'm not saying I'm bought in right away. I want to see where it goes, but I necessarily don't hate it. We've seen it before. Hurricane, Mighty Molly. It's worked before. Apparently, according to Sean Ross Sapp and other reports, like, this was her idea. Like, she went to Vince and pitched this herself. Like, she wanted to do it. And if that's true, I'm glad they're giving her the opportunity to do it. Like, most of the time, people that pitch things don't get the opportunity to do it. Those are the stories we hear that Vince is like, no, we're not doing that. If that's true and she pitched it and Vince was like, okay, let's try it, good for her. Good for her. Let's see how it goes.
I thought about, I was like, maybe I'm gonna hate this. But then I was like, you know what? It's hard to hate Nikki Cross. Like, anything she does, it's just like, you can tell, like, she's so excited to be there and just doing things, and it shows. And I'm just like, you know what, girl, you do your thing. I'm a fan. The same people that are flaming Nikki Cross for this are the same people that are like, Mighty Molly and Hurricane Helms was the greatest thing ever. It's pretty much the same thing so far. Yeah. Like, let it breathe, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it was night one. It was fine. Like, it stuck me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, batshit crazy Nikki is really good.
We can always get back to that, can't we? Like, we can always get back to that in future. Her
progression is like superhero crazy. Is one step away from just being crazy. So maybe she's almost back.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll go with it.
It's true. Oh man, but yeah, that was. We'll see where it goes. And as far as whether the Hell in a Cell match is good or not waiting for a live crowd for that on a Monday Night Raw is bad marketing. Yeah, but they had a whole pay-per-view the night before with no crowd either. So, I mean, yes, it was marketing for the pay-per-view, so I know what you mean there. But my thing was, the thing that happened on Monday was strictly the USA Network was like, hey, the hell you giving Fox a Hell in a Cell match for on Friday?
You're giving us one money, tonight. Bro.
Like, what the heck? We paid $2 billion for you too, or whatever the hell it is. Like, you're giving us one. You're giving Fox one? What the hell?
Fox got the
and that,
Fox
good for them. That's their right. Fox got the best one of the week.
You think USA Network was like, wait, what? Xavier Woods?
Well, who? And then I would be like, well, you're demanding we just put one together for you. What do you want us to do? Sorry, The Rock and John Cena aren't available on 2 hours notice, USA. Jeez Louise. But that's strictly what that was. So I do agree with you, Jeremiah. Like, they are giving away too much. Yeah, like it is what it is. I think WWE's mindset from everything you read and stuff is when they get back to live, they're taking that mentality of like, this is like kind of a brand new, like this is like a redo.
Well, they're basically they're trying to get back to the fear of missing out thing, right? They're trying to say like, look, like, come to our shows, pay money to be at these shows. Because you never know what's going to happen. You might see a Hell in a Cell match on a random Monday. And I hope that they do more things like this, but, planning it out. But if that means if you're going to do Hell in a Cell matches on Mondays and Fridays and do these crazy gimmicks, then the pay-per-views better just be off the charts. Because you can't. Yes. That's what I mean. Like, the Friday Roman Reigns Ray Hell in the Cell was better than either one of the Hell in the Cells we saw at the pay-per-view. And in theory, that's the one you're paying for, right? You're paying for the Peacock network. So, yeah, it's not a ton of money, but I'm still giving you money to be able to watch that. When on Fox, I can watch that for free.
Yeah, 100%.
For me, make my dollar stretch a little bit more. Now, we got a draft to talk about, but before we do that, we got to announce this great debate next Thursday. It's going down. JPJ, what are we doing?
Oh yeah, July 1st, back to our 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time slot. Oh, maybe Pluggo won't be here. He might be dying. Pluggo, this might be the end. Please make it. Please make it.
At least one more week.
We are gonna have the first ever Between Two Beards debate, and it is going to be on one side Spencer Love And on the
The
other
Grand
side,
Poobah, the boss
yeah.
man.
And on the other side, Josh Robinson. And if you hopped in our run-in last night, you saw a glimpse. You saw maybe more of a glimpse, more than a glimpse. I'm sorry, but it's going to be a debate. We are going to once and for all, at least in our Love Wrestling platform, settle the Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels debate next week here on Love Wrestling on Between Two Beards. It is going to be wonderful.
You won't want to miss that.
You will not.
We're gonna try to keep it professional, but we're gonna have questions. Me and JPJ are gonna act as the moderators. Keep those two separated as best we can. It got pretty fired up yesterday. I have to imagine Thursday is going to be fireworks.
It's gonna be heated. It's gonna be heated.
Spencer doesn't like, but
no,
they're coming.
No. All right, but before we get there, you had mentioned a draft, and my friend, we do have a draft this evening before we get out of here, right before 9 o'clock, so you guys can watch the excellent special edition of Quizplex we have at 9 p.m. tonight.
Veda Scott, Nicole
Veda
Matthews,
Scott,
Randy Myers.
Yeah,
That's going to be hosting. It's going to be a good time. They're raising money for the Trevor Project as well, so please stop by if you can donate. If you can't, share out our link. Let's hit our goal. Early vote, Shawn Michaels. Bret was just a wrestler. If only he could have been. Okay, well.
Okay.
Just realized the next show is on Canada Day. Yes, it is.
Uh-oh. Well, it's going to be. Look, we're doing it. We're doing it
early.
It is. It started last night. There were some, I thought they were going to break loose. I thought there was going to be an all-out brawl last night.
To pull the curtain back for those that missed it, last night, it was Wednesday. We didn't have AEW before we get into this draft. We got about a half hour left in our show. I said, let's get together. Let's do something. Let's just, why not? We got all this time to kill. Let's do some watch-alongs. Let's just get together. Let's talk wrestling. Spencer came on. Josh showed up. Bret Hart comments started flying out left and right. And then we were going to wait and announce it today, but we couldn't. So it's happening next Thursday. Can't wait.
Absolutely.
Now it's time. I don't know who won the draft last week. I'm going to assume it was me because I always win these drafts.
I don't know.
But this one was our producer, Mighty Joe. Shout out to Mighty Joe. Said you guys should draft game councils. Yeah. So I said, is there enough to do 5 rounds with 2 people? He said, absolutely. So I had to do a little research. But here's what we're going to do. In the comments, drop your favorite games. Drop your favorite councils. And while we draft it out, let's talk it out. What was your favorite wrestling game of all time?
Oh.
Let's hear it.
About that all day.
We good.
I mean, yeah. All right. So I know I went first last week, so I guess I'll be the nice guy.
Yes.
And let you go first this week. The best wrestling video game of all time, though, is WCW NWO Revenge. That's my opinion, and I will stick with that till the end of time.
End of time.
Yes, but I will let you go first.
I get the first pick, and again, I'm picking based off just my playing habits in my life, which I don't play that much these days. As much. I'm going with the PlayStation 2 off the board. It was my first system I bought with my own money. Yep. And I played that thing to death. I still have one upstairs that I dust off every so often and throw down on some of those old Madden games. And, Raw versus SmackDowns on those I thought were fantastic. So we're just going to take the PS2 right off the board.
All right. Well, as Joe says right there, in my opinion, the 2 greatest consoles of all time are the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 2. And I rank them as Super Nintendo number 1.
Oh, so
I, at the number 2 spot, I'm going to take the Super Nintendo. That's right.
Okay. Well, Raw versus SmackDown with the GM.
Oh, tremendous. WWF Attitude for N64 was good. It was. I liked. I mean, if you're talking N64 WWF games, it's got to be No Mercy, right? Or WrestleMania 2000. Those 2 were really, really good. The Attitude one was good though, and I liked WrestleMania the arcade game that had like it looked like they were like the real life like photos of them, and they were just like it was more of an arcade like Smash 'em style game, but I loved it. All right, second round, my friend.
Again, I'm trying to debate. I'm going to go with the Sega Genesis at number 2. That was the first I ever had, and I loved it. Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm just going with what I know. And you're the video game expert. I'm just a dude that plays video games on occasion. So I'm interested to see where you go, and I'm going to just, do that. Just going to make sure I'm set. I have a Sega upstairs too.
Yeah.
I'm old school.
Ed with that comment in the chat, he says he's talking about WrestleMania, the arcade game. You would pick up tombstones and hit him over the head with tombstone. It was a crazy game. It was a crazy game, but it was a lot of fun. All right. I think with my second round pick, I am going to go with I'm going to go Xbox 360. I'm going Xbox 360 here.
That was on my board. You can't go wrong with the Xbox 360.
Retromania I have for the Nintendo Switch. Very good game. Very entertaining. Very, very entertaining. And Stevie Richards is in there, along with a couple other. Tommy Dreamer's in there, Warhorse. Basically all of the BWO. Blue Meanie's in there, Supernova. They got the Legion of Doom in there because it's kind of like the sequel to WrestleFest, which was just awesome. That was the arcade game I would run to first when I got to arcades. It was either that or Pac-Man. But all right, John, third round.
Pac-Man is
I love
so
Pac-Man.
good.
I love Pac-Man. Love it.
All right, well, I'm gonna go.
I'm a Sony guy, Ed, but the 360 is a really good console. It's a really, really good console.
I'm gonna go with the original Xbox.
Okay.
You could download your music on it. Dude, it was so good. It had you didn't have to buy memory cards for it, which was always a plus for me. Oh man, I remember my glory days before I became the stud you see before me, just posting up with the PS2, the Xbox, that playing Halo. You had to have that was the thing back in the day, and I don't know how it is now, but you had to have if you wanted to play Halo, you had to have an Xbox. If you wanted to play Grand Theft Auto, you had to have a PS2. Because there were so many games that were just exclusive at the time, so you needed multiple systems if you could swing it.
They still have exclusive series, but now it's a lot more. Now they're starting to come out with the next gens and stuff. You can do cross-platform gaming. So now if I own the same game that somebody on Xbox has, we could play each other, even though we don't own the same console. And I think eventually that's where it's all going to be. Everybody's just going to be able to play with everybody kind of thing. But they still have some exclusives, but every year I think it just gets smaller and smaller, the ones that are actually exclusives for the consoles, There
you go.
All right. I am a Sony guy, and I don't have a Sony system console in my list. So I think I am going to go with PlayStation 4.
Oh, that was going to be my next pick. Good pick. Those are fun when I have a chance to play them. Shout out to my kids that are always on it. We buy it.
You buy it, and you're like, hey, can I play? They're like, get out of here, Dad.
I bought
no, these are for us.
Me, I've got the WWE game, which is not very good, but I got Battleground. Is it Battlegrounds or?
Oh, that one was not.
Right, but I bought all these games. I got New Japan the Fire World Pro Wrestling.
That's great. Fire World Pro Wrestling is great.
I never get to sit down and play them. Just what they're collecting dust. Well, now that you took the 4 off the board, I guess
that was Ed's number 1 was the 4.
The 4 is good. It's a good system.
Yep.
Fun fact: the original PlayStation was almost called Nintendo PlayStation. Is that true?
No, that can't be. They didn't do that. I bet you it probably is.
I don't know. So that kind of leaves me up. Where do I go here? So I've got the original Xbox, the PS2, and the Sega. I feel like I'm set there. I'm going to just take the PS3 off the board then, too. Right. Get that out of there. You know why? NCAA football. The last one was so good. And that's like $100 still online. I can't believe that.
I mean, that's.
Did you know we got Quizplex coming up in 20 minutes on top of you chug that water? Did I say that? Quizplex.
Stay hydrated. You gotta
stay
Yeah.
hydrated. You got Nicole Matthews, Veda Scott, Randy Myers. I'm sure they know a lot about video game consoles and games, but I'm sure they know even more about trivia. 9 o'clock. Love wrestling.
Yep.
Stay tuned after this.
Tonight.
In about 20
it's a big
minutes.
One tonight.
Big one.
All right, I am going to go with my 4th round pick. I am taking the Nintendo Switch. Now, it's obviously a newer one, but I think the way that you can do it on the TV and then take it off and it's a portable, I love it. I'm going Nintendo Switch.
I've never touched one.
There's Joe. Our producer has one behind the glass.
Nintendo Switch, if you're watching, will definitely take that sponsorship so I can figure out if it's a good system or not. I've never played one, honestly. So I'm at pick 4. No,
this is last round for you, man. Then we're going to have. Yeah. Oh, Nintendo PlayStation was a real thing, but the 2 companies could not reach an agreement because both. Well, there you go. That makes sense. I think in the end, it worked out for everybody. We all got great systems from 3 different people instead of 2. Last pick for you, my friend.
This is where it gets tough, right? Because the systems that I've named are systems that I have and that I've bought and that I've played. And a couple of them that you took I've had over the years, but I don't have. I'm going to have to. I might as well do it. Oh man, I don't know. Give me Virtual Boy.
I remember that.
I get. You know what? For nostalgia purposes, I guess give me the original Nintendo.
Fair.
You took the Super Nintendo. Did you not?
Oh, of course. That, in my opinion, is the greatest console of all time.
So I'll just take the original Nintendo so I can play some Mario, I guess.
Yep.
But again, like I said, I based it strictly on what I've played, and I could have went PS1. PS1's really good, but if you take that off the board here at 5,
I'm not.
Maybe I could have kept
I think I'm going probably in a direction. I feel like I have this wrapped up. I have it wrapped up already.
You probably do.
So I feel good. I feel good about my draft. So in my opinion,
but I'm a cocky son of a bitch, and I'm going to act like
that's good. You got to be. You got to be.
Polls come out.
Yeah, you got to be. I do not have a Sega representative on my list.
No.
So what I'm going to do is, since you took Sega Genesis, which is obviously the king of Sega, I'm going to take a Sega console that I think is one of the more underrated consoles. And I'm going to take the Sega Dreamcast. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, because that is an underrated console. In my opinion, the greatest football video game to ever came out for only the Sega Dreamcast. ESPN Football, 2004, I don't know, one of those years when the Dreamcast was alive.
Football games were better than Madden.
Randy Moss was on the cover.
Yep, that was 2004.
It is one of the greatest football games ever made. You can make an argument the greatest. And then Madden kind of bought up the contract, and it's only Madden now, which Madden is still good every year. I'm not complaining about Madden, but I'm going Sega Dreamcast. Underrated. Sega Saturn was good, Tim. I'll give that to you, but I disagree, my friend. But to each their own. But I'm going Sega Dreamcast.
So JPJ wins. Thanks, Ed. Thanks for, whatever.
Look at sometimes you just, there it is. Sleeper pick of the century, the Dreamcast. Came out the woodworks with that one.
I mean, I got the Nintendo.
Moss, to answer Jeremy. Oh, man. John, you're getting beat up in the comments, bro. It's all right. It's all right. Everyone.
Listen here, guys.
Was it T.O.? I thought it was Moss.
Moss was on the cover. He was on the cover.
I thought Moss was on the cover of the game I'm talking about.
T.O. was on 2K5, the one that came out for PlayStation and all that. And then Moss was on the cover, I think, of the one right before they made.
Which came out on the Dream. It was
JPJ
so good.
wins the draft. Okay, you know what? Listen, while JPJ's out there, playing video games, I'm a little out of my element here, guys, as you know.
Hey.
As Heath Slater said, I got kids. I can't be sitting around playing video games.
You got kids. That means that you should have video game systems lying everywhere.
I do, and I don't ever touch them. Let's see. In the house right now, I think we've got the Nintendo Wii. Never touch it. I've got the Sega. I never touch it. I've got a PS2, PS3, and a PS4. Never touch them. I need, so if anybody's out there listening and they've got babysitting services that they would like to offer, so
He's like, I need some time to play games.
Yeah, I've got every old sports game that you can think
John,
of for the
John's like the John Cena of the Between Two Beards. You just can't see him. That's how that draft felt. That's how that draft. No, I'm just kidding. You got PlayStation 2. That's a dominant console. You should feel good about that.
It's like the most selling console.
I would hope you get one of the 2 best consoles having one of the top 2 picks. I would hope.
Well, you know, I got that. I got the Sega, which is like the GOAT back. The Sega had 3 buttons. The Super Nintendo had like 9. So
yeah,
I went with a 3-button system. It came with Streets of Rage and Sonic 2. That's all.
Here, you want to talk about Streets of Rage? They came out with like a newer version of Streets of Rage that I bought on the PS4, like on the online store. It's good.
Is it? Does it come
good.
with
It's fun, like the old,
too?
the old Streets of Rage, just with like way better graphics and cooler moves and cooler characters.
I could never beat it.
It's terrible. There's a ton of games that I would play and I'd be like, this is too hard. And I would just never beat it. I'd just never beat it. I'd be like, I wish I was good enough. But
that's how
I'm just going to take that defeat and never play it ever again.
Nobody said GameCube, man. I was thinking
Nintendo GameCube was good. Nintendo GameCube was good.
One of those
no one even said, dude, Nintendo 64 wasn't even drafted.
Yeah, which, you know, we should throw the result. I didn't have one. So, and honestly, anytime I ever played it, I hated that controller with a passion. So fight me in the comments if you'd like. But
we have like another we have like another 5 minutes or so. So if anybody in the chat has any questions in general about video games, about wrestling, about whatever,
about how
if you got any questions in the chat,
Spencer's butt in predictions.
Well, you can talk about that for a minute or two,
Spencer,
if you want. Oh,
I'm coming for you. Pluggo outpick everybody.
Wow. I got goosebumps. Right there, like The Rock.
Yeah. Let's go, baby. He was talking. He's running his mouth. I have to, let him know.
Yeah.
I know he signs our checks or whatever. Do you get checks? I don't get checks. I don't get
we get a budget. That's all I know is we get a budget. And we blow it every week and get yelled at on Friday mornings.
Yeah, Friday.
That's all I know. Ooh. Oh, that's a good question by Tim in the chat.
Nobody said Game Boy either, by the way.
Nobody did. Game Boy I thought was close for me.
Yeah.
If you could take any finisher by any wrestler.
Like like physically take it?
Yeah, like we're taking the finisher, yeah.
Like I'm getting F5'd or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
would that be your pick? You would choose an F5?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm a bigger guy, so maybe he can't get me up and spin me around.
Oh, please, he did to the Big Show.
Okay.
What?
Am I talking like which brutal one I'd want to take that would hurt the most, or are we trying to like?
I think I would want to take. I would want to take a tombstone from the Undertaker. That's my pick.
If I'm thinking about my body and I'm thinking about how it's going to feel the next day, I'm taking a Bailey to belly because that is the weakest finisher I've ever seen, and I love Bailey. But I mean, we're talking but that's a Bailey. That's a belly to belly suplex. That's pretty weak in all things considered. So I don't want to be out there, taking stone cold stunners and F5s. That's a good one, Tim. And Superman punches. I could probably take a Superman punch from Reigns.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't take a stunner from Austin? Come on. Now.
I mean, I would take it to say like I took it.
Yeah,
but if
that's how I view it. I don't care if it hurts. I'm just viewing it like how badass would it be to say like, oh yeah, the Undertaker tombstoned me once.
Well, if we're talking about that, put me in the Heath Slater spot where I can just sit there and just take.
Yeah, you just get the legends to just they get the one segment where you get to take all 7 dudes' moves.
Yeah. But if I'm talking about just trying to like make it through to the next morning, it's the Bailey to belly.
100%. Ed Piper Niven will be great once she turns on Eva and they let her.
Piper Niven is great.
She is, but she will be great on the main show. On the main show, she will be great.
I would take a Ric Flair chop.
I would take a Ric Flair chop, 100%. He would have to woo at me though after he did it. I would be a demand. I would say, you're chopping me. I want a real one, but damn it, you're saying woo. And if you don't, you're doing it over. I'd be upset.
I know the only finisher we're probably taking is Spenny Love firing us tomorrow morning.
Come on. Now.
Yeah, that's right. You can't.
Come on.
Ironclad contracts like the Big Show.
Right. Yeah, I think I would choose the Undertaker tombstone, but there's a lot. The pedigree. Why not?
rock bottom. I'd take a.
I think Jeremiah asked earlier if we thought Raw was better than Impact. And I would say, with the exception of this past Monday's Raw, I don't watch Impact regularly, but I watch like the highlight shows and matches that are, people say are good, like on the social medias and stuff. Probably Impact was probably a more consistently better show than Raw, because Raw, besides this past Monday, has been really bad for
Braun
a
sucks
while
without
now.
Braun. A lot of things suck without Braun.
Yeah, like Braun was just another guy at the top of the card that was entertaining when they gave him good stuff to do.
Yeah.
I'm holding.
For Braun.
Yeah, I'm holding judgment because I feel like they're really ramping up in all forms as they head back on the road here. So I'm going to hold out. I think there is reason for optimism. I think there is, because I really think they're looking at, we're going to be in front of crowds. Like we need to make sure that this is big because we need to win people back, kind of thing. So I'm going to let it go for a little bit and see how it is. I thought Raw was promising. Again, the bar could be super low because it should be, because Raw has been bad. But I thought this Raw, there was nothing that I thought was stupid. Like, matches mattered, the stories mattered. Like, it felt like a cohesive show.
This is something you can build off too, because you just gave 3 guys that we didn't expect to win, especially like a Ricochet. You could really, I didn't even know the dude was wearing pants. That's how little we see Ricochet. He's in jeans now. So you could really build him back up into something with this run in Money in the Bank. I know we all know he's in there just because he's going to do some cool shit, because that's what Ricochet does. But you have an opportunity to make us care about him for the next 6 weeks or a month or whatever it is, and then maybe build on that down the future. So I hope they're using this Raw as building blocks, because they're going to learn a lot come a couple weeks when fans are back and telling them like, hey, we're not down with this. We're not going to put up with rematch. Why would I give them my money to come see the same thing every week,
Yeah, and I think that's part of the Thunderdome part of it was they had the luxury. Yeah, the Thunderdome. They had the luxury where they could do that, because they were like, well, no one's really here to judge what we're doing. But like, if you were at Raw and you paid hundreds of dollars to go to Raw, and you see Rey Mysterio fight Seth Rollins for the 9th time in the last 9 weeks. Yeah, you might be excited because you're there, but you're going to be like, what the hell? Give me something like exciting. And I think when real people are there, they're going to be told what's exciting and what is not exciting by real people. And it's always good for them to adjust on the fly a little bit too, so. But anyway, on that note, we're going to get out of here. We're going to do our goodbyes. Once again, I want to thank everybody that came into the chat tonight. All your comments. Oh, Spencer's going to be pissed. Damn it.
You know what?
Yeah. See, you don't care because I'm the one that gets talked to. I'm the one that gets talked.
Is he afraid?
But yes, thank you. No. Thank you all for hopping in the chat and making this a fun episode tonight. You guys were awesome with your comments and, involving yourselves with the show. We appreciate that very much. As you can see below me, donate.tiltify.com /@LoveWrestlingCA/Trevor Project. Still doing it throughout the whole month. In just about a little over 5 minutes on this channel, we have a very special episode of Quizplex. We have Veda Scott. We have Randy Myers. We have Nicole Matthews. We have Zach, the host. Josh Robinson will be on there. I'll be on the chat. I know a bunch of us from Love Wrestling are going to be in the chat. It's a big-time episode on a big-time night here on Love Wrestling. Donate if you can to the link below me. Even if you can't donate, share it. Make people aware that is of equal value as far as I am concerned.
And
hit us up on all our social medias. Love Wrestling on Facebook.
Going on this week, real quick?
We gonna talk about it. We got Love Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, on the Twitch. You're gonna see me again Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for episode part 2 of the War Report, reviewing the special AEW Saturday Night Dynamite. That main event, Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega for the title, should be a good one.
Bang!
Very, very excited for that. Yeah, that's what I got the rest of the weekend. I don't think I got anything else. Obviously, we will have Sunday brunch. The Goose Call is coming back this Sunday, too. We got a lot of good stuff on Love Wrestling this weekend. But for me personally, I got the War Report Sunday morning. What about you, my friend?
Well, I'll be back here next week with you, my friends,
hopefully.
for the great debate.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, I'm blowing off fireworks. I also this past week, buddy, that's in the comments, Jeremy Rowe started up a podcast called the Wrestling Outsiders Podcast. Had me jump on. Dusty Rhodes came back to life. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
So I helped him out on there. I'll drop a link in all my stuff so you guys can check it out. He's also looking for anybody that does wrestling impressions of any kind, whether wrestlers, announcers, entertainers, because that's kind of the theme he's going for there. Other than that, you might catch me on a surprise run in here or there. I will be in the comments for Quizplex, so stop by. It should be a good time, man. I can't wait. That's all I got.
Yeah. All right. And like John did mention
the
there, next week, 8:30 p.m.
Pick a side.
Thursday night, Between Two Beards, Josh Robinson versus Spencer, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, the great debate on Between Two Beards. But don't go anywhere. Stay on this channel. We have a big episode of Quizplex coming up. He's Pluggo. He's John.
We love you
I'm
guys.
JPJ. Thank you all for joining us again for another great episode of Between Two Beards. We appreciate you all greatly, and we will see you next week on Between Two Beards for that special great debate. Peace out.